All right, fam, real talk. If you run a tiny business in America right now, there is a crazy good chance you're breaking the law every single week, and you have zero clue. And that is not me trying to be dramatic for clicks. That is just the math for micro business owners in the United States. Here is the hook that should make you sit up straight. More than 60% of micro businesses in America are using contracts or hiring moves that would get tossed out or punished in court in under 5 minutes. 60%. That means if you walk down a main street with 10 little shops, 6 of them are one angry ex-worker away from a lawsuit that could wipe out months of profit. Coffee shops, barbershops, tattoo studios, cleaning crews, food trucks, Etsy sellers who blew up overnight, dog walkers, nail techs, little trucking outfits, pressure washing crews, mobile detailers, lash techs, all of them. Super hard workers, super good people who just copied something from the internet or went off vibes and thought, yeah, that looks legit. And then boom, one letter from the state, one Department of Labor complaint, one IRS notice, one workers' comp audit, and suddenly you are looking at 10 grand, 20 grand, 50 grand gone, just like that. I have seen it happen to my own people, and that is why this channel exists. I watched a dude in Arizona who runs a car wash lose his whole summer profit because he paid his guys cash and called them contractors to save on paperwork. I watched a girl in Florida who makes custom cakes get sued because she fired someone right after that person told her she was pregnant. She did not even mean it like that. She just had zero paperwork, zero trail, so it looked hella guilty. I watched a guy in Texas who runs a small gym get hit with waiting time penalties because he held a final check for 2 weeks over a missing key fob. That key fob cost him like $10 and the penalty cost him almost $4,000. I watched a coffee shop in Colorado get wrecked over missed meal breaks, even though the owner thought everyone was cool skipping lunch during rush. Cool does not hold up in court, paperwork does. Welcome back to Is This Legal Small Biz Edition. 60-second scenarios, but we go deep and we keep it 100. Contracts and hiring, the two places where micro businesses love to blow themselves up without even knowing it. I am going to give you the stuff most gurus skip because they never actually ran payroll or hired anyone outside of their laptop. Let us get into it, and I am going to make it super practical so you can fix this stuff this week, not next year. Number 1, the forever handshake deal with no end date and no real scope. You know this one. You hire your buddy to do your website or your cousin to manage your Instagram or a friend of a friend to do your bookkeeping. You say, bro, just handle it. We are good. I will pay you monthly. We got trust. No paper or a paper that says you will work together indefinitely until somebody gets tired. In America, that is not chill. That is dangerous. A real contract needs a start date, an end date, or a clear way to end it. What done looks like, how much it costs when you pay, who owns the final work, and how either side can walk away. Without that, you got nothing. If that designer ghosts you with your website password, what are you going to do? Sue over a text that says bet? Good luck with that. If you try to end it and he says you owe him for 6 more months because you never wrote how to cancel, now you're arguing over vibes. Stop thinking contracts are for big corporations with suits and downtown offices. They are just rules written down so nobody has to guess and nobody gets to lie later. Get a simple one-pager that says what you are buying, when it is due, what happens if it is late, who owns the files, how many revisions you get, and how to cancel with like 7 or 14 days notice. That one pager will save you more headaches than any hustle mindset video ever will, and put your state in there too. Because what works in California might not work in Texas, and what works in Texas might flop in New York. Choice of law matters even for tiny deals. Number 2, the we are family, so we do not do overtime move. Oh man, this one makes my blood pressure go up. You got 3 employees, you are small, you are grinding, so you think overtime laws are for Walmart and Amazon. Nope. In the United States federal law, and almost every state law says if someone is hourly and non-exempt and they go over 40 hours in a work week, you owe them time and a half. Does not matter if they said they are cool with straight pay. Does not matter if you wrote it in a group chat and they said okay. Does not matter if they begged for extra hours. You cannot have someone agree to break the law. That agreement is trash in court. The Department of Labor does not care if you are small and wholesome and you buy pizza on Fridays. They will still fine you. I saw a bakery in Ohio get hit for over $20,000 because the owner thought free cupcakes and extra tips counted as overtime. Cupcakes are not legal tender, bro. Same with comp time in the private sector. You cannot say I will give you time off later instead of overtime pay unless you are government. In private business, that is illegal in most cases. So either keep people under 40 or pay the overtime. Track hours for real. Use an app, not a napkin. Do not let people clock out and keep working because you are behind. That off-the-clock work is a lawsuit factory. And in California, the rules are even stricter with daily overtime after 8 hours and double after 12. So if you're in California, you better know that that cold. If you are in Colorado or Washington, those states also have daily overtime triggers that surprise a lot of owners. Number 3, the fake independent contractor trick. This is like the national pastime for micro businesses. You hire someone full-time. You tell them what time to show up. You tell them exactly how to do the job. You give them your tools, your shirt with your logo. You put them on your schedule. You control their whole day. You do reviews. But you call them a contractor on paper, and you 1099 them, so you do not have to deal with payroll taxes, unemployment, workers' comp. The IRS and your state labor agency are not dumb. They have a whole checklist, and the main question is who controls the work. If you control what they do and how they do it, they are an employee. Period. It does not matter what you call them. You can call your dog a cat, but it is still a dog. If you get caught misclassifying, you owe back taxes, penalties, maybe benefits, and in some states, the fines are brutal per violation. In California, the penalties for willful misclassification can get nasty fast. In New Jersey and Massachusetts, the test is even harder to pass. If you want a real contractor, think different. They set their own hours, they use their own tools, they have other clients, they decide how to get the result. You just pay for the result. Like you hire a plumber to fix a sink. You do not tell him what wrench to use or what time to take lunch. Same energy. If you want someone on your schedule every day using your stuff, just hire them as an employee and do it right. It is cheaper than an audit and way cheaper than a workers' comp claim when someone gets hurt and you have no coverage and the state comes after you personally. Number 4, the psycho non-compete that tries to own someone's whole future. Small businesses love to download a non-compete that says employee cannot work within 50 miles in the same industry for 2 years after quitting for a job that pays $15 an hour. Bro, are you serious? Most judges look at that and throw it in the trash because it is way too broad. And in California, it is almost completely banned for employees. You cannot stop someone from earning a living just because you taught them how to make a smoothie or cut hair. What you can protect is real legit business interest, like a secret recipe, a private client list you spent years building, confidential pricing, your special training system that actually cost you money to build. For that, you use a non-disclosure and maybe a narrow non-solicit that says you will not poach my clients or my staff for 6 months. That is reasonable. But if you try to ban a 19-year-old from working at any coffee shop in the county, you look like a bully, and you will lose, and you might get dragged on social media too. Keep it tight, keep it fair, keep it about real secrets, not about ego. And if you are in a state like Texas, where non-competes are allowed, they still have to be reasonable in time, distance, and scope, and they have to be tied to real consideration. So a 2-year, 50-mile ban for a barista is not reasonable anywhere. A 6-month ban for a manager who knows your secret vendor pricing and your entire client list, that might be more defensible, but still get it checked by a local attorney. Number 5, the we are at will, so we can fire for anything delusion. Yes, most of America is at will employment. That means you can fire someone without a reason or with a dumb reason like you do not like their shoes. But you cannot fire someone for an illegal reason, and that is where tiny bosses mess up every day. You cannot fire someone because she is pregnant, because he needs a day off for a religious holiday, because she took medical leave, because he reported harassment, because they asked about being paid correctly, because of race, color, religion, sex, age, disability, national origin, because they asked for a reasonable accommodation and you cannot retaliate. So many micro businesses have no paperwork. So when they fire someone 2 days after that person complained about not getting breaks, it looks like retaliation, even if you swear it was about performance. Without documentation, you have no defense. Be boring. Write stuff down. If someone is late, write the date. If you coach them, write what you said. If you give a warning, have them sign it or note that they refuse to sign. That paper trail is what saves you. At will does not mean you can be reckless. It means you can make business decisions, but you still cannot discriminate or retaliate. Period. And if you have less than 15 employees, you might think federal discrimination laws do not apply, but many state laws kick in at 1 employee. So do not play that game. In California, New York, New Jersey, you can be covered from day 1 with 1 employee. So act like the big guys on the basics. Number 6, the copy-paste contract from the internet that still has another company's name in it. I have seen this so many times it hurts. Someone Googles employment agreement free download and gets a 30-page monster meant for for a tech company in Delaware and uses it for a dog walking business in Texas. It still says this agreement is between Google and employee. My dude, you are not Google. You are walking poodles in Houston. That Frankenstein contract is worse than no contract because it promises stuff you never meant. It uses laws from another state. It talks about stock options you do not have, and it confuses everyone. Every state has its own quirks. California has crazy rules about final paychecks, like you have to pay immediately if you fire someone. New York has strict rules about wage notices and pay frequency, and you have to give written notice about rate and payday. Florida has its own thing about non-competes and needing legit business interest. Texas is more employer-friendly, but still has its own traps about unemployment claims and how you document misconduct. A one-size-fits-all template from the internet does not know your state. Spend a few $100 one time to have a local small business attorney look at your basic hiring packet, your offer letter, your contractor agreement, your client contract. That one-time cost will save you $20,000 later. Trust me, I would rather you pay $500 now than $50,000 later, and keep your contracts short. If your barista needs a law degree to understand your offer letter, you messed up. Number 7, the contractor who works only for you for a year, and you give them a company email and business cards and a uniform. This is a cousin of number 3, but it is so common it deserves its own spot. You bring someone on as a contractor, but then you treat them like family. You give them a company email. You put them on your website as team. You invite them to employee-only meetings. You give them a schedule and performance reviews. You tell them they cannot work for anyone else. The state looks at that and says, come on, man, you are playing games. If they look like an employee, talk like an employee, work like an employee, they are an employee. And if they get hurt on the job and you have no workers' comp because you called them a contractor, you are now personally on the hook, and that is nightmare fuel. Decide what you need. If you need control, hire an employee. If you need a result, hire a contractor and let them be free. Let them decide when and how. Pay for the outcome, not the hours. And do not put a contractor on a PIP. That is employee language. That alone can sink you in an audit. Number 8, the verbal promise that becomes a binding contract even though you never wrote it down. In America, you can make a contract with your mouth. Like you tell a worker, if you stay a year, I will give you a $2,000 bonus. You think you are just motivating them. That can be a binding oral contract in many states. If they stay and you do not pay, they can sue and win. Same with clients. You tell a client, yeah, I will throw in free revisions forever. But that forever part might bite you hard. Be careful with your mouth. If you promise something, write down exactly what it is and what has to happen to earn it. Do not make big promises when you are excited at the start. You will regret it when you are tired in month 11. Put it in writing, even a simple email that says, here is what we agreed to, and have them reply, yes. That email thread is a contract. Treat it like one. Number 9, the no breaks, no lunch, work through it, hustle culture trap. Some micro bosses think breaks are optional because we are small and busy and we are all hustling. In many states, they are not optional. California requires a meal break before 5 hours and a second before 10, plus rest breaks. Washington, Colorado, Oregon, many others have strict break rules. Even if your state does not require it, if someone works 8 hours straight with no break and gets hurt or makes a mistake because they are exhausted, you look terrible and morale tanks. Give people their breaks. Put it in writing. Have them take it. Have them clock it. Do not let them skip it to leave early and then later claim you never let them take it. That is a classic wage claim that is easy to avoid. Just build breaks into the schedule like you build in anything else. And if you are in a state that requires a paid 10-minute rest break, do not make people clock out for it. That is paid time. Number 10, the final paycheck fumble. This one destroys small businesses. Someone quits or you fire them and you think, yeah, I will pay them next payroll in 2 weeks when I do everyone else. In some states, that is illegal. In California, if you fire someone, you have to pay all wages, including unused vacation, immediately, like that day. And if they quit with notice, you have 72 hours. If you make them wait, you owe waiting time penalties that stack every day up to 30 days. That can turn a $500 paycheck into $5,000 in penalties real quick. Other states give you a few days, but not weeks. New York, Illinois, Colorado all have tight deadlines. Know your state rule. Have a plan. When someone leaves, pay them fast and include everything you owe, like overtime, commissions that are due, unused vacation if your state requires it. Do not hold their last check hostage because they did not return a shirt or a key. That is illegal almost everywhere. Return of property and final pay are separate. Pay them, then chase the property separately if you must. And document the return request in writing so you have a trail. Number 11, the we do not need workers' comp because we are too small myth. So many micro businesses think workers' comp is for big companies with a warehouse. In most states, if you have even one employee, you need it, even if you have two part-time people. If you have no coverage and someone slips and tears a knee in your shop or burns themselves in your food truck, you are paying out of pocket and the state will fine you on top, and your personal assets might be exposed because you tried to save $200 a month. Get workers' comp, get general liability. Talk to a local insurance agent who works with tiny businesses. It is not that expensive for low-risk work, and it lets you sleep at night. And if you use real contractors, make sure they have their own insurance and get a certificate of insurance. Do not just take their word for it, get the paper. Number 12, the handbook that you copied but never actually follow. You download a 50-page employee handbook with all kinds of policies, you hand it out, you make people sign the last page, but you never follow it. Then when you fire someone, you break your own policy, and that gets used against you. A handbook is not just a shield, it can be a weapon for the other side if you ignore it. If your handbook says you do 3 write-ups before termination, and you fire someone on write-up 1, a lawyer will use your own handbook to show you were unfair, or you breached implied contract. So keep your handbook short, real, and actually do what it says. For a micro business, you do not need 50 pages. You need the basics. How you handle time, attendance, harassment, sick leave, how you pay, how you handle tips if you take tips, how you handle complaints, how you handle call-outs. Keep it simple, keep it honest, and follow it every time. If you do not want to follow a policy, do not put it in the book. Number 13, the tip stealing or tip pooling disaster that so many restaurants and coffee shops fall into. In America, tips belong to the employee, not the house, and federal and state rules about who can be in a tip pool are super strict. In most places, managers and supervisors cannot take tips or be in the pool. You cannot use tips to cover register shortages or breakage or walkouts. You cannot take a cut for credit card fees beyond a tiny allowed amount. And in California, tips are sacred. You touch them wrong, and you are paying double. If you run a shop with tips, learn your state tip law code. Put the tip policy in writing. Show people how you split it. Use a real system. Do not do it off memory on a napkin at the end of the night. That napkin will cost you 10 grand when someone says you shorted them. Okay, let me bring it home with a real analogy because I need this to stick in your brain for real. Running a micro business without solid contracts and hiring basics is like letting someone move into your apartment with no lease, no rent amount, no rules about dishes, no rules about guests, no rules about noise, no rules about pets, and then acting shocked when they eat all your food. Never clean. Bring 3 friends and a giant dog that sheds everywhere and they park in your spot. Like, of course it went bad. You never set the boundary. A contract is not about being cold or corporate. It is about being clear so you can stay cool and stay friends. Good fences make good neighbors, and good contracts make good ex-employees who do not trash you online or sue you. Think of a contract like the rules for a pickup basketball game. If you agree before you start what counts as a foul, nobody fights at the end. And here is the personal stake part. I started, like most of you, thinking, if I am nice and I pay on time and I am generous and I give second chances, the law will be nice to me back. It does not work like that. The law does not care about your vibe. It cares about what you did and what you wrote down. I had to learn this the hard way, paying for mistakes that could have been fixed with 1 page and a 30-minute call with a local attorney. So I am telling you now because I want you to skip that painful tuition payment that so many tiny owners have to pay. I want you to keep your money and your sanity. If you are listening right now and you have employees or contractors and you do not have a simple offer letter, a simple job description, a simple way you track hours, a simple contractor agreement that actually fits what you do, stop what you are doing after this video and fix that this week. Not next month, this week. Future you will thank, present you, make a checklist, offer letter, W-4 and I-9 handbook acknowledgement, break policy, overtime policy, final pay rule for your state, contractor agreement, client agreement. Get that folder tight. Also, do not be the boss who Googles how to fire someone legally 5 minutes after you already fired them. That is like Googling how to swim after you jumped in the ocean. Get the process right before you need it. Have a termination checklist, have a final pay ready, have a COBRA notice if you have to give it, have a a plan for returning property, do it calm, do it documented, do it respectful. Quick note, this is not legal advice. This is just info for education. I am not your attorney. Laws change, and they are different by city and state. So take this info and talk to a local small business attorney or a legit HR pro in your state before you make moves. That one call is worth it. All right, debate time. This is where I want y'all to go crazy in the comments because I know you love to argue, and I love to read it and learn from it. Do you think it is fair that a tiny mom and pop shop with 2 or 3 employees has to follow the exact same complicated hiring and contract laws as a huge corporation with a whole HR department and a legal team and millions in the bank? Or should micro businesses under 10 people get a simpler, easier set of rules to follow so they can survive and still protect workers? I know some of you are going to say, no way. Rules should be rules. Everyone should be protected the same no matter how small the business. And some of you are going to say, bro, we are drowning out here. Let us breathe. We need simpler rules for the little guys. We cannot afford a full HR team. So let us hear it. Drop your state too so we know where you are coming from and what your state does. And if you got value from this and you want to keep your business out of court and out of debt, hit that subscribe button. I got a lot more coming, and I'm not gatekeeping any of it. Next week is the one you've been asking for, and it is going to start a straight-up war in the comments. Tenant rights by state, California versus Texas. One state is super tenant-friendly with all kinds of protections and hoops for landlords. Security deposit limits just cause eviction, relocation assistance, long notice periods. The other is super landlord-friendly and lets owners move fast and keep more control. Shorter notices, easier evictions, less red tape. We are going to break down what landlords can and cannot do, what tenants can and cannot get away with, security deposits, evictions, rent raises, notice periods, repair and deduct, the whole thing. If you are a landlord or renter, or you want to be either, you do not want to miss it. So subscribe, and I will see you in the next one.